Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and we're about to watch the first trailer for The Boys Season 4. You're going to get my live reaction. I don't normally do reactions on the channel, because normally when I watch things, I'm being really studious. I'm not trying to study them, but we're going to watch it here together. I might stop here and there to talk about what I'm seeing in the trailer, talk about some observations, things like that, then just give you my overall impression. First, I want to talk though about The Boys universe and kind of where it is right now. And the thing is, I think The Boys is kind of turning out to be one of the most important superhero cinematic universes that we have today. Now, it's easy to look at The Boys and say, oh, it's a parody of superhero culture, or it's a sign of superhero fatigue. And I don't think that's true. The Boys is not a parody of superhero culture. It's a parody of pop culture, our culture, politics, everything, except it uses superheroes as a medium to deliver this parody. I mean, I love how The Boys, from top to bottom, it parodies everything from the way celebrities have this self-importance with the Jenner, whatever Kardashian ad did the Pepsi ad, or things by the way, Doug is chewing a bone off camera. So if you hear a loud chewing sound, it's just Doug. Yeah, I do love a good bone. I know you do, buddy. Hey, person, what are your New Year's resolutions? I don't have any. None? Nope. I used to have a real problem with stress eating. I was constantly snacking all day, and then I would always suck on breath mints that would give me headaches, and all of this was just caused by stress, so then I quit. How'd you do that? Well, I kicked my bad oral fixation habits by using Fume. They're the sponsor of this video. Oh, is that a vape? Nope, it's not a vape, it is not electronic, and it does not have pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals. Instead, it has these plant-based cores that are infused with natural flavors to create natural flavored air. I recently started my favorite flavor, orange vanilla, and it even freshens my breath. Yeah, it does smell very nice. Thanks, ma'am. You see, Fume uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Plus, it has adjustable airflow and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which frankly is very helpful for calming my anxiety. Fume makes switching easy and even fun. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from more than 150,000 customers who have used Fume to change their lives and switched when other solutions just didn't work. So head to tryfume.com/ScreenCrush and use the code ScreenCrush to save 10% off when you get your Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and everything you need to finally be free of your bad habit. Plus, you can upgrade your Journey Pack with Fume Solano. This includes a premium walnut barrel and onyx black coated mouthpiece that has a smoother finish, and you still get 10% off. That is tryfum.com and use the code ScreenCrush to get an additional 10% off your order today. Now, back to what I was saying. But they also, are a parody of politics. And I would say they go after the right and Fox News and corporate aligned media a lot more than they do the left, but they do their fair share of poking fun at the left as well. So you take all that, we just don't in our society get a lot of parody anymore. South Park comes along with a special every now and then. The Daily Show is not what it used to be. It seems like everybody is just part of the same corporate entity that is funding them. So what I really appreciate about The Boys, this is a show that is funded by one of the largest corporations in the world, a corporation that is its own multimedia empire, and they poke fun at that empire whenever they can. And you look at now, they've been able to spin off with Gen V, and I didn't think Gen V was going to be that good. The first trailer looked fine, but that show was exceptional. And I'm not going to say any spoilers for it. I think a lot of people watched The Boys, but maybe didn't watch Gen V. Doug, with that bone, so loud. But I will say that it did a great job of taking The Boys universe and saying, okay, well, what do we not parody yet? And they went into colleges and the way colleges deal with student athletes. And they talked about more about youth culture and things like that. Social media, they got into that a lot more than The Boys ever does. Now this season is obviously, of The Boys, is obviously connected to Gen V, but that show ended in a way where they can address the events of Gen V if they want, or it could just be a mention in the background. One thing we did get in Gen V was this constant mention of Homelander and what he did at the end of season 3. So you remember at the end of season 3, season 3, his whole thing was I'm tired of hiding. I want to show people that I'm better than you. And he gets basically custody of his kid and then murders a man at one of his rallies, which was a pretty clear parody of certain political figures. So after this, now throughout Gen V, we got this mention of the trial of Homelander coming up. Now, The Boys comics are a loose guideline for this series. They're very different. In fact, I prefer the series in a lot of ways. However, The Boys comics also gave us this storyline where Homelander eventually just flat out tries to take control of the government. And I'm not going to, it doesn't matter. He's stopped by a clone of himself. They're not going to go that way in the show. It seems like The Boys show is kind of gradually getting us to that point, but Homelander is such a dunce and so vain and self-obsessed. It's kind of hard to see how a guy like that could ever take power. But I want to watch this trailer. I'm really curious what's in. I want to hear all of your thoughts in the comments below, obviously. So let's get started. And go.
Rome. Greece. All democracies fail. Because people are fucking stupid.
Oh, okay. So they're going full political parody with this.
But if you crush the masses, who builds your monuments? Who tongues your taint? The people will tear it apart themselves.
So far, this is like way darker and taking itself way more seriously than like any other Boys trailer's actually done. This feels like the first Age of Ultron trailer, doesn't it?
Then you get to swoop in, be the one saving it.
Like Caesar.
Like Caesar.
If there's hell below.
Who is he playing? That's awesome.
Oh, hell.
Who wants their balls crushed?
God, so gross.
Your team.
What's your code name again?
The boys. Oof. Who came up with that?
It'd be nice if they would have gotten Garth Ennis to play the Jeffrey Dean Morgan part, whatever that is. It's just not a Boys trailer without a character covered in blood. Okay, so I'm going to go through here, and I just want to go over, I'm just going to not do a big deep dive Easter egg video, but there are a few things in here that I think are really worth mentioning and pointing out. So first of all, we get Homelander, this shot of him very stoic. It's him, we're only seeing his back. In a way, presenting him like this unknowable, untouchable figure, reminiscent of Napoleon or like a lot of presidential portraits, right? He's what's on his mind. Everything he's thinking is so important. And we've seen this is in Homelander's quarters before, his apartment in Seven Tower. We've got the statues, Americana, him surrounding himself with paintings of stately figures and these statues of these Greco-Roman figures of masculinity and perfection, like how he sees himself. And just to scrub through, I'm not sure who the new character is who's narrating. I haven't looked at the cast yet, right? But this character is talking to Homelander about how democracies fall. Then of course we get the shot of Seven Tower, which is loosely a parody of Avengers Tower, but more than that, it's a parody of corporate America and the power that corporate America holds over everyday people. They're kind of corporate America is such a hidden part of our lives. But they're controlling everything we do and everything we see. We see Butcher in an old video store, like an old Blockbuster video store. It's weird that it's abandoned because, as we all know, video stores are open and thriving today. Right, Doug?
Yeah, that's right. I'm gainfully employed. Yeah, I'm gainfully employed too. Oh, geez, not that thing again.
Doug, be nice. This is our Doug plushie, by the way, and we're doing a campaign to raise money for this thing. If you want, go down to our merch store. There's links below. You can go to Makeship. We actually were really close to hitting our goal to make all of these happen. It's super cute, super soft. Get your Doug plushie today and down with commercialism. Okay, so moving through here, we see all these various posters that when we get to the actual episode, we'll break down oh, that's Polarity and all these different characters. We see a Polarity movie poster or standee in the foreground. And then we see Victoria Newman on stage. And this is when they're talking about how the great democracies, Rome and Greece, have all fallen, but they fall because of the people. It's not like they were invaded by an outside force. They were corrupted by various interests from within. So Victoria Newman in the comic books is another character called Vic the Veep, who is vice president under Bob Singer. And Vic the Veep is basically under the control of Vought. There's even a really funny scene where during a terrorist attack, Vic the Veep hits the president in the face with a fire extinguisher, and then so the supes can try to stop hijacked airplanes. But they went a different way here. Instead of making Vic the Veep a parody of George Bush, they made Vic the Veep, Victoria Newman, more a parody of Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. And then, yeah, we see their political rally, and then Starlight and Huey coming out of a police station. And then this Vought rally. So it looks like this is a Homelander rally. I mean, they cut to a shot of Homelander looking down on it. This is the shot where they say that, like, if, like, basically this woman says to Homelander, if the supes kill everybody, there would be no one left to praise them. And this goes all the way back to, like, season 1, I think it's episode 3, when Butcher tells Huey, like, the supes' real weakness is that they want to be loved, right? It's not money, it's not fame. They want people to adore them. And that's always been Homelander's Achilles heel as well. He just figured out that he could, like, be honest and with how horrible of a person he is, and people would embrace him for it. And then we get this shot of the deep with another octopus. God, it's so creepy and so sad at the same time. And then we see, it looks like Butcher and MM at TruthCon. You know, we saw, like, the, what was it, the gun convention in season 3, and now we're seeing, like, another side of this. Oh, no, this is also, yeah, there's also gun owner stuff here, and, like, where people are, there's a poster, like, celebrating Soldier Boy. So this is, like, them going into the belly of the beast as far as, like, right-wing conspirators who think that, probably think that Starlight is a liar. And we cut to various members of the boys skulking around. So then we get this rally. I thought this was really interesting. So we're seeing, like, Starlight, basically, remember she filmed Homelander being horrible to her, and then he was like, oh, Starlight, you're not supposed to film us when we're running lines. That should have been enough for people, right? To say, okay, Homelander's clearly a psychopath, but it wasn't. Like, it just made people double down more on each side. And I think we're seeing here, like, a parody of our current political climate in the United States, where we've got two different sides. We've had riots break out between two different sides of protesters. Once, except here, it's been personified not as political figures, but as superheroes who kind of represent archetypes of those two different political parties. You know, like with Starlight's side, we see fight like a girl, very like light imagery, yellow, white. And then with Homelander, like this patriotic imagery, there's a like keep America great or keep America safe. We see those flags, pretty obvious what that's a parody of. And this riot breaks out. And you see Starlight isn't cool with it. She's got this shocked look on her face. And Homelander is perfectly smug with it, because Homelander doesn't see humans as people. Like, remember the end of Gen V. He does not see humans as people. He looks at humans as this, like we would rodents. So for humans to fight each other, for him, is almost amusing. He wants them at each other's throats because it just makes them need him even more. Continuing to go through this, him using Ryan as a political tool. Politicians use their families as political tools all the time. Looks like it's him playing the game. A new character called Truth Bomb, who may actually be Homelander's like new member of the Seven that he's trying to promote. She's not, I believe, from the comics. I think she's brand new. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, ladies and gentlemen, the guy who cannot stay away from a cinematic universe for long. It looks like him and Butcher are old friends. My guess is they worked together in the CIA back in the day when he was doing stuff for Mallory. Creepy kid. You know, the fact that we have a kid soup here is interesting. I wonder if we're going to go back to Red River, because this definitely seems like the kind of kid with this like Medusa face that they wouldn't want to like promote as like a superhero, wouldn't have much of a social media following. And this is interesting. It looks like we have a new Black Noir. Now in the comics, I don't think they're going to do this in the show, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, who was like there to keep tabs on him for all these years and ends up going crazy and being like a big bad of the series. Here I don't know who he is. That's a great new mystery. Like, I love the mystery in those first few seasons of who Black Noir was. Like, he can play piano, he's got a nut allergy, and now I hope that this is a mystery. I hope this isn't just like them saying to some character in the first episode, hey, you're the new Black Noir. We see this conspiracy guy, looks like he's wearing an anti-Starlight shirt, splitting apart, super gross. Then this like, oh god, this Butcher's temple, this the compound V that's in his system is like slowly killing him. Now I'm all down for Butcher having powers though, because like in the comics, that's part of the point, is the boys are normal people who have powers and they're going after supes. In fact, after they kill all the supes, Butcher decides to kill all the boys because he can have nobody left with any superpowers at all. Scrolling through here, we see, I think this is A-Train looking at hair that I'm going to guess belong to Stormfront, because we see that picture of Stormfront and Friedrich Vought right next to it. Maybe this is in Homelander's quarters and like he kept some of her hair. Yeah, if that was in an episode, I don't remember it. Yeah, we get this tag where Jeffrey Dean Morgan makes fun of the name of the show. Which, okay, look, Marvel's done that for a long time, like Ant-Man is too late to change the name. I'm not super keen on that kind of thing. So this is exactly what I expected to see from the show this season, like, which is double down on political parody. even more so than kind of I thought they were. Like they're full on trying to make these different characters into like archetypes of different political figures who we see today. The real question for me though is like, what is Victoria Newman up to? Because you guys remember in Gen V, again, I don't want to spoil anything, there's like a really important thing that she takes for herself, and she's not under Homelander's thumb. She really is like in a position to be like numero uno supe. I think she's probably one of the few supes who could kill Homelander. There's even a moment in season 3 where he's like, you want to pop my melon? Go ahead, I dare you. And she doesn't try to because she sees value in him. But I'm not sure. She's the character for me that is the big question mark. She's the character that was featured most heavily in Gen V, the one who I think has the most potential to really open this show up. Because right now, like I think the show got into kind of a rut in season 3 where it is Homelander versus the boys. It's the boys trying to find a way to take down Homelander. And we thought Soldier Boy was the way to do that. Now we're not so sure. If every single season is, gee, I hope we find a way to take down Homelander, the show's going to get repetitive really fast. I think the Victoria Newman being this wild card, she turned on Stan Edgar. She's just in it for herself. And then her controlling this, like, if you look at Homelander versus Starlight's people and that whole thing is like political theater, then Victoria Newman is the real power broker here. She's the person who's going to try to use that conflict. Her running mate for president, Bob Singer, he was a Vietnam vet. He's a Secretary of Defense or State. I think he's Defense. So he's somebody who could appeal more to the right. She appeals more to the left. So they're the people who are going to step up and say, oh, no, we can settle all of this. But she's lied about it. She's lying about her name. I really want to see where she's going to go. So I think going forward in The Boys, she is going to be the key character to watch, which is awesome because she started off as such like a background character, literally like on the news in season 2. And now she's going to take center stage as I think the real threat, an even bigger threat than Homelander. So guys, that's my thoughts on The Boys season 4 trailer breakdown. Sorry it's not like a big deep dive traditional breakdown. I kind of love doing these though because it gives me a chance to just kind of tell you honestly like what I'm thinking in real time. This hasn't been edited very much except for when I have to scratch my nose and stuff. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. You can @me on Twitter, and if it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.